Akutsu is an ugly antisocial loser who has no damn friends except for the cultural anime stash under his mattress. However, his worthless life changes when God tasks him with increasing the power level of 9 magical girls by clapping their cheeks, and he starts clapping immediately. It's the end of class, and Natsuki's friends tell her to get a boyfriend, but she rejects the idea, claiming she's not ready for plot development. Some worthless nerdy simps nearby eavesdrop on the Sabrina Carpenter fangirls drooling over Natsuki. One of the losers suggests it's obvious she'll win the upcoming beauty contest, but this smelly armpits geek disagrees, confident it's Tsuyo, the school president, will leave Natsuki in the dust. However, another loser assures the boys the beautiful upcoming idol Mutsumi will definitely take the beauty contest trophy home. Listening to the punks simping for the girls, Natsuki's friend points out she's still as popular as ever, asking how confident she is about winning the contest. Natsuki tells them she won't be participating because she doesn't like too much attention. At the same time, poison gas from Gachi Akuta exits from Akutsu's mouth as he approaches the simps to say hi, but these shit-for-brains think their loud mouths disturb the most feared boy in class. So this f***head idiot backflips out the window. The remaining boy apologizes, but Akutsu ignores him and makes his way home. At the door, he encounters the homeroom teacher, who quickly returns to his gooning session, afraid to pass Akutsu. When Akutsu leaves, the students breathe a sigh of relief, with one even saying he thought Akutsu was going to kill him. Natsuki's friend warns her to stay away from that giant before he consumes her like Attack on Titan, but the warning passes through one of Natsuki's ears and out the next. Meanwhile, Akutsu terrifying the shit out of students while walking through the halls alerts the school president, who pops out asking why everyone's acting like Galactus is about to crush the school. This freeloader informs her it's because of Akutsu, saying the guy has the appearance of a monster, which scares the shit out of people. However, Itsuyo says she doesn't think Akutsu is a monster. Monsters are like the pale man from Pan's Labyrinth, not a lonely teenage boy with no friends. Hearing her kind words, the vice president turns away blushing, thinking he's definitely betting all his part-time job cash on Itsuyo winning the beauty contest. That night, as Akutsu reads a One-Piece manga at the park, people quickly disappear from the scene calling him a monster. In his mind, Akutsu says he's no damn monster, but his creepy look makes people shit their pants, and it's been like this since childhood. This causes Akutsu to develop some allergy towards people, saying he doesn't want friends, what he wants is a PlayStation 5 or GTA 6 when it drops. At home, Akutsu immediately goes to his room to catch the new episode of The Water Magician, only to find the 3 most popular girls at school in his room. Instead of begging Akutsu not to call the police on them for breaking into his house, Natsuki knocks him down with a Saratoga water bottle, calling him a perv. Akutsu, with his dumb worthless brain, apologizes and says he'll leave, but Itsuyo stops him with her melons pressing on his shoulder, calling him back to talk some more with her. Enraged, Natsuki yells at Akutsu to get his dirty nut hands off Itsuyo, but Itsuyo tells her she's the one who should get her Pinocchio nose out of her business, calling her a jealous brat because her cannons are massive, and Natsuki's are too small to destroy a pirate ship. Meanwhile, Akutsu tries to escape, only to bump into Mutsumi, who smacks the 20,000-ton giant across the room, landing him in Natsuki's Chamber of Secrets passage. Just then, 2 other baddies, Misa and Yakuma, pull up, greeting Akutsu, but he flies past them faster than a Koenigsegg supercar. Gasping for air, Akutsu wonders how the fuck all these girls suddenly popped up at his house like some stalkers, convinced his alone time is fucked, and mutters, "Why won't they leave?" Suddenly, a woman startles him, asking if he really wants them to leave. She and her daughter bow before Akutsu like peasants, promising that if he lets them stay, they'll do anything like a cultural anime girl main character. Feeling sorry for the bitches, Akutsu gives them permission to stay, confused as to why these girls aren't afraid of him like everybody else. Later on, while Akutsu and the 9 girls have dinner, he hesitates to fuck up the chicken, thinking he just wants them to leave, but he's too much of a shy moron to bluntly say so. After finishing dinner, he thinks of a way to get these annoying pests out of his house so he can return to studying. At that moment, Natsuki walks by, making Akutsu freeze like some cops told him to freeze. He accidentally punches a hole through the wall when Futaba teases him for having a crush on Natsuki, which he denies. Somehow, Futaba gets the duo together to study, but Akutsu wishes he could disappear from this situation because Natsuki will only treat him like shit, just like she does at school. Just then, she puts on some glasses, surprising Akutsu, who asks if she always wore glasses. Calling him a disrespectful dork, she declines, informing him She only wears glasses during study time. In another room, the other girls talk about Akutsu, who's more interested in studying than doing the most crucial thing, pushing these girls' magic power levels to Harry Potter's level with his love. However, Itsuyo says she's not worried about Akutsu avoiding his destiny because he's the man their father approved, so he'll attend to his duties when the time is right. Back to Akutsu, he finds it difficult to study with Natsuki, wishing Cosmo and Wanda could just show up and grant him a wish to make these intrusive snakes disappear. Suddenly, his eraser falls under the table, but when he reaches to retrieve it, he discovers it's right at Natsuki's Disneyland entrance. Since he's too shy to ask her to snatch it for him, he decides to go the hard way, bringing Natsuki discomfort. So, she punches his fuck face, yelling. Natsuki tells him to get lost because he's not even interesting to study with, like modern-day students. Just then, Futaba bursts open the door, asking the duo if they finished studying, and if yes, they should take a break. The break she refers to is sending them to the convenience store for toilet tissues, another one of her orchestrated plans to make them start clapping cheeks. Futaba also told them to hold hands, hoping it would speed up their dating progress. Suddenly, the duo comes to a stop as an alarm device warns everyone in the area to be alert because people have been going missing recently. Natsuki informs Akutsu that people think he's the cause of the disappearances, asking why he doesn't defend himself, allowing people to throw his name in shit. This fuckhole claims it's pointless to defend himself, making Natsuki call him a useless loser who makes her want to puke. Suddenly, a massive portal opens in the sky, releasing a giant monster. At first, the civilians think it's for a movie shoot, until it almost crushes them like a nasty cockroach. The monster then suddenly disappears from everyone's sight except for Akutsu and Natsuki because they create a barrier around that shit. Since the duo is food and the monster is hungry as hell, it tries to turn them into mashed potatoes, but they barely dodge. At that moment, Natsuki thinks if she keeps holding this punk's hand like he's her father or some shit, she'll never level up. So she flashes off his gooning hand and makes a run for it. However, if she knew she was such a clumsy nerd, she would have kept holding his hand, because she almost gets crushed by falling building debris. Luckily, Akutsu shields her from danger like Superman, and Akutsu suggests bitch always goes sideways when he gets affiliated with people. Unbeknownst to Akutsu, Natsuki and the other girls are Valkyries, girls who gain power with pleasure from a boy chosen by the gods. So she strips down to her birthday suit, slamming his hand on her melons. She then kisses him, which gives her enough power to eliminate the abomination in one strike. When Akutsu opens his eyes, he's shocked to see Natsuki looking like a character from a magical girl anime. Not too far away, the other girls watch as Natsuki destroys the massive pile of shit, giving her a round of applause instead of Lady Gaga. Shortly after, Akutsu regains consciousness to a plotless Natsuki against him, so he quickly covers her plot before his nose floods the streets with ketchup. Earlier, Akutsu told Natsuki about the promise he made to his mom to become someone respectable, but she points out that won't matter if the world gets destroyed. She invites him to team up with her so they can save it. Akutsu says that's impossible, but Natsuki assures him it is possible because of him. The next day, as the sisters walk into school, the simps go into overdrive, except for Akutsu, who clears everything out of his path without a damn tractor, hyped to see the midterm exam results. When Natsuki and Mutsumi go to check their scores, they discover Itsuyo scored 100 all 11 subjects, putting her in first place, which makes them both jealous. Mutsumi points out she only did ass in math, but can't say the same for Natsuki, who's not even in the top 30. Natsuki feels even more useless when she hears the students gossiping about her. Trying to comfort her, Mutsumi reminds Natsuki she always wins when they play Mortal Kombat, so who gives a fuck if she came last in the midterms? Curious, Natsuki asks how Mutsumi did so well even though she's an idol, always out doing shows, and Mutsumi reveals Misa helped her. Changing the subject, Mutsumi says she wonders how Akutsu did, only to immediately find that the ugly fuck bombed the exams. They find him sulking on the roof like a little bitch, and Natsuki yells at him, asking why the hell he messed up. He tells them he can't concentrate on studying when people are around, so they're the reason he failed. Enraged, Natsuki wraps her arms around his neck like a snake, demanding an apology, but he slips out of her grip and bolts. Mutsumi reminds the dumbass they agreed never to talk about Akutsu's condition, but Natsuki says she can't ignore him. He's trying too hard to change. Just then, Itsuyo announces that Akutsu should report to her. While walking into her office, he thinks she might do something weird to him since he fucked the exams. Turns out, Itsuyo's just a horny teenager who wants to have fun, and she chains him up. Confused as hell, Akutsu asks why the psycho tied him up, and she tells him it's a date only a psychopath like her would love. According to her dad, the next demon won't appear anytime soon, so she's got time to use his love to level up. Instead of accepting her weird-ass proposal, Akutsu starts yapping that he can't defeat any demon, playing dumb to escape the situation. Determined, Itsuyo pushes herself on him, asking if he's acting like this because he doesn't like her. Akutsu admits he does, but she says she wouldn't give a fuck either way, as long as he gives her enough pickle to level up like Sung Jin Woo. The only man she'll ever love is God, cause he can give her that lazy Instagram bitch life in heaven, far from danger. So, her only goal is to date Akutsu and use his power to surpass the other girls. Noticing she's geeking out a little too hard, Akutsu calls her out like, "School president, you are not smoking crack." As she walks toward him, she tells him to just call her Itsuyo when they're alone and gives him a bento. Even though Akutsu warns her he's not a fan of those dick-shaped things in the bento, she still shoves it down his throat, only for him to puke in her ugly-ass face. Wiping the thick white cream off, Itsuyo forgives him, saying she can just feed him something else since food's not working. Next, she tries massaging his shoulders, gazing into his eyes for 30 seconds, and some more ridiculous bullshit, all just to level up. But all her lame-ass attempts fail like you with your crush. On her way to gym class, Itsuyo slams her locker in frustration, thinking she better find a way to squeeze power from that shithead or she'll be stuck at level 1 forever. Natsuki, who's nearby, reminds her she said the next battle wouldn't be for a while, so why is she in such a damn rush? Lately, Itsuyo's been a lot more active, which shocks Natsuki, since she used to be a shitty little crybaby. With judge-level seriousness, Itsuyo says she's changed, and a flat-chested bitch like Natsuki should stop dipping her ugly ass in other people's business. Furious, she storms off, saying she's got plenty of chances, until she suddenly spots a flying monster. The dumbass students think it's just a balloon. Immediately, Natsuki comes running, asking if Itsuyo saw the monster, but Itsuyo's too lost in thought. Hyped that it's finally her turn to play hero, convinced Natsuki's blades ain't going to do shit. Without hesitation, they create a barrier trapping the monster, and with her power level lower than Pit, Itsuyo doubts she's a match for ugly Natsuki. Natsuki says her blades won't be as useless against this type of monster, but suggests luring it away while Itsuyo levels up. She then transforms by kissing Akutsu's crusty lips before flying off into the sky, while Itsuyo laughs, saying the kiss she did a while ago was cringe as hell. Feeling left out, Mutsumi asks what she's supposed to do, and Itsuyo yells at her to just stand by because she's garbage at combat. In the gym equipment room, Itsuyo pushes Akutsu to the floor, telling him he's not escaping. She says doing this is important to save the world, and he should just relax. Itsuyo-chan is going to take him to places he's never been. At first, this shit for brains wishes he could just disappear, but after realizing the world could end if he doesn't do this shit, he reaches for the melons to eat. Seeing this, Itsuyo starts praising herself, thinking she's at the first step of becoming the strongest Valkyrie. In the end, Itsuyo turns out to be all talk, slapping Akutsu's monster face to stay away from her. Meanwhile, Natsuki manages to do some damage to the monster, but it keeps regenerating like Wolverine, and she's convinced it has to be bound by chains first before it can be defeated. Every time she slashes the giant floating pile of shit into pieces, it returns. So, if Itsuyo doesn't hurry, she'll get fucked. Talking about fuck, the monster traps Natsuki in its web, ready to experience how a beautiful girl tastes. Back to Akutsu, Itsuyo apologizes for slapping him, telling a nasty lie that a mosquito was on his neck. In reality, this freak bad girl shit is just an act. Itsuyo is a daddy's girl who loves playing with Barbie dolls and mixing mud and water. Remembering how his mom used to pat his head when he felt down, Akutsu does the same to Itsuyo, which makes her complete the get intimate in the gym equipment room task to level up. Recalling earlier when she mocked Natsuki for her cringe kiss, claiming she would give Akutsu a more adult version, she ends up kissing his cheek like, what the fuck? Quickly, Itsuyo rushes to Natsuki's aid, trapping the monster in a ball of paper or some shit. As the monster tries to escape, she tells it nothing can break free from her binding spell, not even Nightcrawler and his disappearing abilities. To finish it once and for all, Natsuki summons a sword as big as a giant robot, piercing the monster from existence. Those assholes who were searching for Itsuyo while she was clapping finally find her after the battle, dragging her worthless ass back to school president duties. When they leave, Natsuki points out she hopes all this shit helps Akutsu fuck off with his fear of people and improve his grades. At the school president club room, Garm points out how she looks drained lately, and she tells him it's because of the upcoming festival, which put a lot of shit on her brain. Not just the festival but also the fear of students not accepting her as their school president. She thanks the trio for being individuals she can rely on. Meanwhile, Matsumi is at an energy drink commercial shoot, nailing it so hard the directors pray their current boring wives get isekai'd so Matsumi can take their place with her massive melons. While in the shower, Matsumi thinks about how long it's been since she saw Akutsu, jealous that everyone else is going on dates with him and leveling up except her. At the same time, Akutsu and Natsuki are in the middle of a battle, while the other girls chill at Naruto's favorite place, pointing out how more and more monsters have been appearing lately. They suggest the time has come for Matsumi to level up by dating Akutsu, orchestrating a date for the duo. The next day at the cafe, Matsumi thanks Akutsu for taking the time for her, while a dark aura surrounds the guy, clearly uncomfortable around her. Realizing she's staring at him like it's the first time she's seen a man eat pudding, Akutsu asks what's the matter. She smiles, saying it's just the wonderful weather. In her mind, she's determined to make use of this opportunity the girls laid out for her with Akutsu, hoping no one discovers she's an idol. Nearby, a disgusting virgin loser claims he and Matsumi are friends and even exchanged contact info, saying he loves an upcoming idol with massive cannons. Listening to this asshole, Matsumi realizes these smelly virgins are from Akutsu's class, and she tells him she might have spoken to one of them. Meanwhile, the guys mention Akutsu, accusing him of being the mastermind behind the recent Isakings of people. One ugly fuck who thinks he's a rapper says he hates Akutsu because the monster made him fall out of a window. But another guy reminds him he was the toughest in junior high, so how the hell he made a massive shitbag scare him. Just then, the fake rapper sees Akutsu behind him and immediately apologizes before destroying the class window to escape. Meanwhile, the dumb people in the cafe accuse Akutsu of tossing the garbage out the window, and Matsumi, with her pipsqueak voice, tries to tell everyone it wasn't him. However, Akutsu assures her it's fine. These people accusing him won't make him overdose, he'd rather they just leave. In her mind, Matsumi thinks no one discovered her idol identity because all the attention is on Akutsu. But she quickly snaps out of her fantasy, remembering she's here to give Akutsu the time of his life like Pitbull and Nayo, not focus on disguises like Michael Jackson. Afterward, the duo pulls up to a library where Akutsu goes through a math textbook, saying he fucked up the last exam and wants to crush the next one. This inspires Matsumi, who says she admires how he's willing to give it his all, making her want to do the same. She tells him that as a child, she was attacked by an Akuma, which stole her confidence and left her nervous ever since. Just like a disabled person. Matsumi claims she can't do anything on her own anymore, making her feel as useless as garbage. Meanwhile, Itsuyo sneezes and her microscopic brain thinks something bad is happening. Natsuki asks if she's cold. Itsuyo tells her to focus on her studies instead of others, but Natsuki reminds the bitch she was the one who offered to tutor her. She then asks Itsuyo if she can sleep by herself now, which pisses Itsuyo off because she didn't stop sleeping with her parents until she was 17. Back with Akutsu, he asks Matsumi why she became an idol, and she replies unwillingly. Her sisters wanted someone to become an idol so they could date more gigachads, and they chose her for the mission. Akutsu says if he were her, he couldn't do a job that involved being in contact with millions of people, he'd have isekai'd himself. At first, Matsumi admits she didn't like it, but her fans helped her regain her confidence. Now she likes being an idol. Just then, Akutsu recalls sulking over his helpless mama, ignoring Matsumi's question about whether he's okay, and goes off to buy a book. With a blushing face, Matsumi mutters that every time she looks at Akutsu, her heart races, because he looks similar to the monster who attacked her as a child. Suddenly, Akutsu startles the bitch, saying he finished buying the book and wants to go home now to study. Matsumi tells him to take a break from studying sometimes, but he says it's not like he wants to avoid her. He just wants to leave civilization. At the same time, Garm fucks up a burger while spying on the duo, wondering what the hell they're doing. He calls Akutsu pathetic but praises Matsumi, saying she's fantastic because she's got all the meats in the right places, making him want to devour her. A couple nearby says Garm is creepy as hell, but he offers them his seat in such a sweet way that the idea of him being a creep disappears from their minds. In his head, Garm considers interrupting the duo, but realizes the mall is packed with people he can use to his advantage. Taking out a crystal, he summons an ugly, disgusting speaker thingy who points out Matsumi as the famous idol. Hearing this, people can't believe Matsumi-chan is really there and stampede like God just appeared outside the mall. Panicking, Matsumi wonders what to do, telling Akutsu that the speaker shit is a low-level Akuma that can't fight but loves yapping its disgusting mouth. Thinking fast, Akutsu grabs Matsumi's hand and runs, saying they'll be found if they stay there. Meanwhile, fans trail the duo, saying if they catch the guy holding her hand, they're isekai him. Coming to a dead end, Akutsu wishes he could borrow Shadow Cat's power to phase through walls. The fans almost catch them, until Akutsu uses his worthless brain and hides in a locker, making the fans trash the noisy Akuma for giving them false info. Instead of trying to figure out a way out of this mess, Matsumi is excited she's in Akutsu's arms, asking if he's fine. He assures her he's fine, but can't say the same for little Johnny, who wants to turn into a monster and destroy their stealth. She thinks if Akutsu was a bad person, he would have threatened to display her melons to the fans outside for plot development, so he's a good fellow. Confused, he asks if she knows a way to escape this fucked up situation, but only freaky ideas are flooding her brain. Just then, she comes up with an idea, informing him of her sacred sword wing skill, which might possibly help them escape the crowd. But it's only at level 1, and to activate it, they'll have to kiss. Akutsu agrees, making Matsumi happy because her chance to finally kiss Akutsu has come. However, Matsumi finds it hard to reach Akutsu's lips, so she tells him to remove his top plot. Without a second thought, she pastes her tongue on his chest like glue, saying kissing his chest will take a few minutes to transform, but kissing the lips is way faster. Dying with nervousness, Akutsu accidentally steps on Matsumi's foot, making her let out a happy noise, alerting the simp fans immediately. The annoying Akuma shouts that it has discovered Matsumi, while fear drills up Akutsu's ass, convinced they're cooked. Matsumi tells him to calm down because she's only 20 seconds away from awakening her power, screaming she loves him. That moment, the fans try to open the locker, only for a spear to almost cut off their worthless hands as hurricane-like winds blow. When it finishes, the guys check the locker, but instead of Matsumi and Akutsu, they find cleaning supplies. Opening his eyes, Akutsu almost catches a heart attack realizing he's floating above the city, until he sees Matsumi, who informs him it's her skill called float. Quickly, Akutsu clings to her arm like a crawfish. While she thinks her sister's plan to make her kiss Akutsu was a success, but the date was a mess. Her attention is caught by the sunset, and Akutsu says when he was a child, he and his mom came to this mall to play. All day they went to different stores, ate all sorts of shit, and watched the sunset in the end, just like what they're doing now. Smiling, Matsumi says she's glad he's happy and that she had fun, before crashing to the ground like a meteor because her flight energy ran out. Meanwhile, Garm fucks up a burger, happy that he never confronted the duo, because he found out they had a body. A girl hiding then calls out to him, warning she's going to isekai him for slacking off. She orders him to hurry and eliminate the Valkyries, but he points out he hasn't even finished his burger yet, so he's not in a rush. At home, the duo encounters the girls waiting for them, as if they promised to bring back KFC for everyone, while a voice in Matsumi's head tells her she has leveled up.